All right, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We somehow came to a consensus. And before I announce the winners, I want to do some thank yous. But first, I beelined it right over there because I am so just incredibly impressed and grateful for the talent that these young musicians have brought here to Marine Barracks, Washington, and I couldn't be more grateful. We've got representatives from 6 states. We have 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders that you heard today, which is really, really, really special. So can we have a round of applause for all of our musicians? My name is Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Allen. I'm the director of the Marine Band, and thank you all for being here to support your families or to support music, as so often happens in our community here. This is Truman Crawford Hall, but for those of you who are visiting for the first time, this was Sousa Hall from 1801 when they built it until 2005 when we got our new building over there. So I think of it kind of like Air Force One. When the president flies, the plane changes names. So now I think this is Sousa Hall while the Marine Band's here, right? So welcome to Marine Barracks, Washington, and thank you for being here. This competition takes a village to accomplish, and it is sponsored by our great friends and supporters and champions at the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. And we're so grateful to have representation here. Lieutenant General retired General Blackman is here, and Jennifer Vandervelde from the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. Round of applause, please. Thank you. They so graciously fund all of the scholarship and supports the Marine Band in so many different ways. I'd like to thank our guest adjudicators, Dr. William Lake from George Mason University. Thank you for being here. And then my fellow officers here. We have Chief Warrant Officer Sheffield. She's over here. Thank you, please. Thank you. Lieutenant Toronzo, another adjudicator, and our assistant director. Thank you. And then students, I know you know him very well at this point, but our very own Captain Lynn puts this together and runs this thing from start to finish, and I really appreciate your stewardship of this really important program. Darren Lynn, everybody. Thank you. All right, we have additional support that is here and that the students have gotten to know very well. I'll list a few names, then we can recognize them all together. Right at the top of the list is Master Sergeant Ellen Dooley. You guys know Ellen from, again, start to finish, but Ellen is a very special flute player. She's a member of the organization, but she champions these educational outreach causes, and she has been in it from start to finish to make sure these students and their families, all of you, felt comfortable coming to and from this space. Ellen, I really appreciate how you do this. We have our stage manager, Master Sergeant Rich Dickerson, is in the back there. You've seen our operations or our office communications specialist, Staff Sergeant Broadbooks, is over here. And Staff Sergeant Poole is here too. Excellent. Thank you for being here. This is being recorded, audio and video. We couldn't live stream because this facility doesn't have the capability like Sousa Hall does, but each student will get their recordings, audio and video, and then you can post and share those, and we'll get them online in that way. But running that behind the curtain back there is Gunnery Sergeant Ophir Paz and Staff Sergeant Claude Lumley. And then all of the music that the judges used, but the additions that the students selected were brought to us by our librarian, Gunnery Sergeant Tilden Olson. And then you all got to know Staff Sergeant Christina Hughes and her incredible reception back there. Can we have a round of applause for all of those support? Thank you. I appreciate your patience, but there are a few more people I would like to express gratitude towards, and gratitude on behalf of the students, I'm sure. And I'd like to begin with our accompanists who aren't in the room, but you heard their sensational playing. Gunnery Sergeant Chris Schmidt, Staff Sergeant Dominic Mutzi, and Dr. Choi is back to accompany as well. Thank you very much for being here. And Master Sergeant Russell Wilson came back to turn pages and support as well. So let's have a round of applause for our pianists. Thank you. And finally, our mentors. When students come to Marine Barracks, Washington, they get a chance to experience the hall, work with the accompanist, and then one of our outstanding performers in the Marine Band gets to work with them as well, just as an extra set of ears, which we all want all the time when we're preparing for something like this. The mentors were Master Gunnery Sergeant Hillary Harding on horn, Master Gunnery Sergeant Steve Temme on saxophone, Master Sergeant Frank Crawford on tuba, Master Gunnery Sergeant Leslie Barrett on oboe, Master Gunnery Sergeant Beth Plunk on flute, and Gunnery Sergeant John Troy on clarinet. Many of them were here. Some of them have left after the performances were finished, but we had so much support for those mentors. If you're still here, mentors, please stand and be recognized. And thank you all. Thank you. I love that they go the extra mile to continue to support you all the way to the end. It was great to see them all here. All right, that is the end of that list. So there's one more list I have to read, and that are the results of this concerto competition, which I believe, I lose count. This is my 10th or 11th year judging, and it gets harder and harder each year. Harder and harder each year. Our third place recipient of a $500 scholarship is on French horn, Madeline Cagle. Please come on forward. And our runner-up, recipient of a $1,000 scholarship on flute, Ellie Choi. And finally, the winner of this year's concerto competition on oboe, Mr. Daniel Yum. Daniel's the recipient of a $2,500 scholarship and a chance to appear with the Marine Band, which for the first time is happening immediately. He'll be back next week to solo with the Marine Band on that oboe solo. Can we have another round of applause for all of these incredible, incredible students? Why don't you stand up, guys? That concludes this event. Thank you all so much for coming and supporting, and please enjoy some more refreshments on the way out. Thank you.